So what's up, guys? So this is going to be a video that throws back to a lot of my very early content on the AutoFanatic channel. It's been 1 year since I've owned the GT350R, and I want to talk to you guys about the subtle differences between the R and the standard GT350. I'm going to pull over after I'm done with my drive later on this afternoon, and I'm going to show you some of the little updates that they've done on the car. I'm going to talk to you about the ownership, about the pros and cons, and the number one question that I get asked by thousands of you guys that have been contacting me for years is, hey Phil, is the GT350R worth the adjusted premium? And I'm going to talk to you specifically about that and put it into very good perspective, because the cars are so damn close, especially with the updated versions from 2018 up to 2020. A lot of you guys that follow my content from the beginning, I've owned the red 350 for about 3 years, and then prior to that, I had a GT Performance Pack for about almost 2.5 years. So I've been inside the S550 platform for a total of 6 years now. There's a lot of similarities between, all the cars that I've owned, and I'm going to talk to you guys about specifically the 350R attributes, some of the specific upgrades that they've done to this car, and things that I may or may not, elaborate on in detail because I haven't driven the car on the track, of course. I had a lot of plans for this car, to do a couple of events with it, but with, of course, the global lockdown, there's no car shows, there's no track events, and vice versa. So I'm going to talk to you guys about my plans as far as what I'm going to do with this car. I have a really cool idea that I want to share with you guys that I've been thinking about doing to this particular car. All right, guys, just pull over after my drive, and I just want to show you guys some of the little changes they've made on the 350Rs. And I think this started in 2018. So if you look on the door panels, this used to be hard plastic. Now it is a soft touch vinyl material. It just makes it feel a little bit nicer, and it has a little bit of padding. But other than that, everything else is the same. Of course, the seats on my car have the red trim, and that's just a signature of the R with the red stitching. Now, something that they did, if you guys follow my content, I do the custom consoles in Alcantara. So it's obvious that Ford is watching my content, because what they did, they wrapped this in vinyl with nice double French stitching like you guys could see there. And they also dampened it. You hear how solid it is now? So if you have an earlier model 350, it's cheap plastic. And when I modify them, I do this all in Alcantara. I stitch the armrest and I do all of that. And then I actually add soundproofing material to make it more stronger and more resilient to noises. Another thing too, on my particular car, there is no shifter buzzer. Now, one of my very first videos when I started the AutoFanatic channel was on how to do a DIY repair. And on my particular car, it does not do that at all. There's no noise whatsoever. Now, the one thing I'll show you too, my car has the carbon fiber dash, which was an option. I think this is like $500. It looks cool aesthetically, but it does cause some glare and distraction on sunny days when you're driving. Also, even when I'm doing some drive videos as well, it does cause a distraction with the camera. So if you look here, the car is relatively the same. There's really no real changes to this car from the standard 350, except some of the red cues and, of course, the updates that they did on the 2019, 2020 models. Now, another thing I'll tell you too, in regards to resonance, now, even though that there's no resonance coming from the tunnel and the shifter, there's a ton of resonance coming from the dashboard, specifically behind here, the glove box, the top of the dash, and also behind the air conditioning vents. Now, I did pull this apart a couple of times, and I spent a little bit of time trying to isolate that, and I've done videos on this in the past on how to rip apart the interior and fix some interior rattles. Honestly, just this car, there's a specific frequency that's coming into the cabin that's just shaking all the cheap plastic apart. Now, why is it doing that? Specifically because on the 350R, they removed the center resonator section. So this exhaust system is a little bit louder than a standard 350, not by much, but by removing that center resonator section, it's causing much more resonance to come in through the floor, specifically behind the dash, and causing a lot of stuff in the dash to rattle. So that's just something to consider if anybody's on the fence and if anybody is annoyed as much as I am with interior rattles and all that. Steering wheel's nice Alcantara wrap. This is real Alcantara, not like the stuff that's on the seats. This is like the fake stuff that Ford's using. All right, guys, so we're on the outside of the 350R, and you can see, and I'm just going to show you guys in detail, the car's a sharp looking car. Mine's Kona blue with the white stripes. And the first thing you're going to notice as far as the details, as far as what's different, it's got a larger front spoiler. Like I said, this is for aerodynamics. It also costs a hell of a lot more money to replace. I believe these are $1,600. versus the about $500 for the standard 350. So that's something to consider. You will smash this all day long, no matter where you live. This is just very prone to smashing. Also, in my garage, when I walk past it, I always trip because my sneaker gets caught on this. It drives me nuts. Now, as far as everybody knows, the 350R comes with carbon fiber wheels. This is one of the very first attainable production cars that comes with Carbon Revolution carbon fiber wheels. These wheels are cool, they're expensive, and I'm going to tell you guys now at the conclusion of this video, if you guys really don't have a purpose to keep these wheels in the car, I see no reason why you're going to spend the upcharge to get the carbon fiber wheels. Now, it also comes with red Brembo brake calipers. You can see there, the hardware is the same, the calipers are the same, the brake lines, the rotors, everything is exactly the same. Also, the side skirt is the same. Now, on the back, this is one of the things that I really dislike about this car, is with this so-called carbon fiber wing. It's not exposed carbon fiber, but check this out. You hear how solid this is? This piece feels like it's a heavy piece of solid strand fiberglass, like the chop strand fiberglass that they shoot in the gun. It's not very well made. It's got a very waviness in the mold and the quality of it. But the one thing that I can't stand about it, it's very heavy, extremely heavy. So when you lift up the rear trunk, it wants to collapse on you. So that's just something to notice, that I don't really love the rear wing in this car. I prefer the wing on the standard 350, way better. Another thing, when you're in the interior of the car, and of course you're driving fast and you're on the public road, the way this wing slopes up and the way the rear view mirror is in its plain view of sight, you actually can't see police officers or anybody that's tailgating you or coming up your butt when you're driving aggressively and having fun with the car. So I definitely don't like that about this as well. I prefer maybe if the wing was a little bit taller or just a little bit of a different shape. I just think it's second nature, because why would you make something or claim it as carbon fiber just the way they do when you open up the front engine cover and you see the carbon fiber core brace by the radiator? It says carbon fiber, but it's not like the cool carbon fiber that we want to see, especially like, you know, like the dash panels that are on the car. So they're claiming this is carbon fiber, but it defeats the whole purpose, because carbon fiber, when you put it on a performance car or a super hyper car, exotic car, is supposed to be lightweight. This is completely the opposite of lightweight. This thing is heavy. It's not made well. It's super distracting to drive. And I personally think aesthetically, it's not my favorite wing on the S550 Mustang. But overall, I mean, the car is super sharp. It's got the typical Ford build quality. So what does that mean? It's got crappy paint. It's got crappy fit and finish. The stampings on the door, like the way these panels are all stamped, it's just not as crisp as you would get on a European car or a Japanese car as well. It's just, it's a Ford. So the question a lot of you guys ask me is the 350R really worth the upgrade over a 350? And you know what? After owning my red one for so long, I can't really say, yeah, go out and spend 80,000+, or even some of the newer ones are over 100,000 on a 350R, because the cars are so damn close. And I don't really see it unless you're going to be hardcore tracking the car and you really want to have those carbon fiber wheels. Now, the reason I did the update on the 350R, I mean, my red car, I love that car. That was the car that started the channel and a lot of the content, and built up a lot of, you know, you guys around the world watching me, and also persuaded my enthusiasm and passion for you guys to go out and buy these cars. So as far as the 350R, the reason I wanted it is because I never owned a car with carbon fiber wheels. That was the only reason why I did the swap. That was the only reason why I sold the red car, and it cost me about $25,000. That's a lot of money to upgrade to the 350R. Now, was it worth it? Now, a couple of things that I noticed on the 350R with the carbon fiber wheels. Number one, where I live in New York, the roads are terrible. The wheel barrel, I know for a 100% fact, is actually flexing as I hit the bumps in the road. So it's actually making the car ride more compliant over bumps. It's also knocking out a lot of the road noise and NVH. Now, the 350R also rides on low-profile Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. Now, I believe it was 2018, 2019, the standard 350s also came with Pilot Sport Cup 2s, and I think some people could have opted for the Pilot Super Sports as well. If you look at the tires, there's really like no thread on them. This is definitely not a tire you want to go in the cold temps. I mean, right now it's about 45 degrees in New York, so you can't really beat on the car too much. You will fly off the road and wreck the car. Also in the rain, they're terrible. They're also hard as a rock. I like that because it gives the car really good feedback, especially with having such a huge 305 tire in the front and the gigantic contact patch that goes along with it. But like I said, as far as the attributes of the car, you're only getting the larger front spoiler, you're getting the carbon fiber wheels, you're getting the red calipers, and that heavy, supposedly carbon fiber rear spoiler that is super distracting, and I just don't like it. But other than that, the cars are so damn close. They also, besides taking out the center resonator, they also modified the dampening of the magnetic ride control, so it's the way they changed the algorithm, and also the spring rates, I believe, on the front of this car are about 10 pounds or maybe 20 pounds, a little bit heavier than the standard 350. So that's pretty much where it's at. Now, as far as what I'm doing to this car, I don't really know. I mean, I had a couple of options as far as what I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to upgrade to gyro disc 2-piece rotors, but then of course, during the lockdown, could not get anything from most of the aftermarket parts vendors. I also got the caliper flexion studs for the front. I got the Carbotech pads for my other car that I wanted to put in. Just haven't done anything to this car. I also was considering completely gutting the interior and doing a full-blown custom interior, but then I haven't been in the mood or motivated to do something like that because it's a big project, and I know that if I put $10,000 into the interior, I am never ever going to see that money back. Now, something that I was considering, because like I said, this car is so damn close to the red car, and the red car, I did a lot of mods to it and stuff like that, and I showed it on my channel as well. You know, do I plan on keeping it? I don't really know right now. There's a couple of things that are on my mind as far as what I wanted to do. If any of you guys follow social media or even some of the custom car builders, there's a company called Speedcore out in Wisconsin, and they do a full carbon fiber rebody of the 350R. So you got to mail them the car through transport. They remove all the body panels and rebody it in full carbon fiber. Now, I was talking to them over the last couple of months, and it's definitely something of interest to do if I really think I'm going to keep this car forever. Now, what would I do? I would probably take the car, being that it's blue by title and VIN number, I'd have to keep it blue. So what I was thinking, do the whole car in exposed carbon fiber with a blue tint, similar to like a Koenigsegg or a Pagani. I think that thing will look awesome. I would probably do the stripes back on the car in vinyl because I may or may not love them, but I think that would be a really cool option, except it's like 60 grand or 70 grand to do the conversion. You know, when you factor in all the other little stuff. Another thing too, what am I going to do with all the body panels that come off the car? I mean, it's kind of a sin to junk it or trash it. They're definitely worth something to somebody because they're in perfect condition. There's nothing wrong with them. So that's something that I was considering too. And another thing I was also considering, being that I've been driving an S550 Mustang for 6 years, I kind of want something different. I want to experience something different. I'm all about, you know, the new experience. This car was all about the carbon fiber wheels. I like them. I don't love them. I don't think it's worth it if you're going to drive the car on the street. They're impossible to clean. They have no caliper clearance between the caliper and the barrel, so you get rocks caught in there. But it makes the car feel incredible. You know, you're changing the rotational mass and the inertia on the way this car reacts with the suspension, the steering, and everything thrown in. It just feels that much better. Now, on my red 350, if you guys follow my channel, I did like 9 sets of wheels on that car. I did 1-piece, 2-piece, 19s, 20s, forged, flow form. I did everything just to test it out. And I'm going to be honest with you, no matter what alloy wheel you put on these cars, it's never going to give the same feeling of compliance, NVH, and feedback that you're going to get from the carbon fiber wheels. So this is a very, very unique attribute, and that's why I wanted to experience it, and I want to talk about it in this 1-year ownership review video, because I feel if you don't want to experience something unique, or you don't really care, or if you're going to buy a 350R, so many of you guys are buying these cars and immediately ripping off the wheels. And I don't care. I mean, that's cool. You want to get a set of track wheels from Forge Line or Signature or whatever. That's cool, but I don't understand why you would want to buy this car and not take advantage of using those wheels on the track or using those for an autocross or even, you know, just to go spirited drive the car. I just think that's the whole reason why you're spending the money, is because you're getting the wheels thrown in, you know, for very, very little bit more of an upcharge as far as what these wheels would cost if you were to buy them over the counter from Ford. I think they're about like $5,000 or $6,000 each, which is absolutely insane. But like I said, it was a fun experience. I actually enjoy the carbon fiber wheels. I don't think they're a perfect design based on, I don't like the finish inside the barrel. If you guys watch my channel, you'll see I did a video on how to clean it. It's an absolute nightmare. And I also think the caliper clearance, that should be solved as well. And it would be also cooler if they made these exposed like the GT500 track packs that are available now. So a lot of you guys are saying, hey, you know, sell this and get the 350, get the 500 track pack. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I would ever spend $120,000 or more plus tax on another S550 Mustang ever again. This was a stretch for me. I didn't even really want to spend this kind of money on another Mustang, but I did it because I wanted the experience of driving a car with the carbon fiber wheels, and the timing just made sense for me, and that's why I did it. As far as if I keep it, I don't know. A couple of things have been going on in my head. of selling this car and selling another car and possibly buying a Ferrari 488. I don't know, that's just an idea. Also been looking at Ferrari 458s. Yes, those cars are paddle shift, but I actually have a pretty severe back injury that happened in August, and this car has been very, very hard for me to enjoy by shifting and actuating the clutch and also the stiff Recaro seats. So that's one of those things where I'm not really using it that much. We don't really know what's going to go on, you know, going forward with these cars. These cars are, of course, discontinued. You cannot buy them anymore, but you can buy them pre-owned. There's a bunch of them out there. You're not going to really find one in this condition, and also this option with the Kona Blue. This car is super rare. So I know a lot of you guys, I put the car for sale a bunch of times. I was thinking about doing the Heritage Edition, and then just got tired of like dealerships jerking me around saying, yeah, we'll give it to you at sticker. And then the car comes in, they have my deposit, and then they say, oh, we want 25,000 over. I'm just not doing it. I'm not that guy that's going to overpay for an American car. I just don't believe it's worth it. These cars are awesome because they're attainable and you get the performance and you get everything for a really good value. So that's pretty much my 1 year ownership review. I mean, there's really not much else I could do on this car. You know, I don't really want to go and put forced induction. I've been thinking about lowering the car, but then if I lower the car, I might as well just take my front bumper off because it's just going to get torn off anyway. But I think aesthetically, being that the car is not really being used that much, I'm thinking about lowering the car. I also want to do the brake upgrade and, you know, kind of mess around with that as well. And I've also, if I do the options of SpeedCore, if I send this car out to SpeedCore for the full carbon fiber rebody, post it in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about doing that. You know, if I should keep the car, if I should just do it for fun. But I'm going to be honest with you, the only way I would do it is if SpeedCore and I agree on terms that they would shoot content every week on the production process of gutting my car and rebodying it from start to finish, because I want to share every step of the way with you guys on my channel, because it's definitely not for the, you know, the faint at heart. That's a serious conversion and it's big, big money. And like I said, that's just something that I think would be really awesome. Now, if I do the carbon fiber rebody, and I probably would keep the car because of the money invested, I'd have to keep it for quite a while. I most likely will gut the interior, pull the seats out, do the Sparco carbon fiber back SPX seats, the ones that I love, that I wanted to do. I was planning on putting those seats in over the winter, and then of course the shutdown happened with all the vendors around the world, and you couldn't get parts from anything. Even for my Alfa Romeo, I've been trying to do content and modify a lot of my cars, and I just can't get anything. I'm still waiting on parts for the Ferrari. It's like week after week after week. I just can't get anything, and things logistically and the supply chains are still screwed up and they're not where they should be right now. So that's pretty much it. I mean, hope you guys, you know, enjoy this video and get some good feedback, because I'm gonna tell you now, if you guys don't have a use for the carbon fiber wheels and you just wanna buy a 350R, just say, hey, I got the 350R. It's the biggest, baddest, and greatest, you know, NA 350 that they made. I get it, but don't do it just to say you have it. Do it because you want those wheels. Do it because you want the front splitter. The front splitter definitely helps with aerodynamics a little bit. This car aerodynamically is not the best. It's nowhere near a modern Ferrari, Porsche, or my Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, which spent a lot of time in the Ferrari F1 wind tunnel. So that's one thing that I noticed, but it definitely has much more front end stability with having that underbelly pan that goes further back and it's a little bit deeper. So they definitely fine-tuned some of the stuff on this car, but it's not like, you know, it's not fine-tuned like a super exotic car or mega high performance car. But I think for what you're getting for the money, you're getting a hell of a bang for performance. And it's a sharp car. I actually like it. I'm enjoying it. But I wish I would enjoy it more. I wish there were car shows. I wish there were events that I could have taken it to and shot some really cool content for you guys this year. But that really wasn't in the cards. And, you know, like I said, all the car events around the world are just canceled. And it's kind of disappointing, because that's a real big part of my lifestyle, is meeting up with you guys and meeting up with fans and customers and kind of sharing that enthusiasm with everyone. And, you know, a lot of you guys like to see these cars when I bring them out to events. But that's pretty much it. So if you guys are interested in a 350R, I say do it now, but don't do it just to get it for ego or just to bragging rights. Say, hey, I got the 350R, and then you're going to take the carbon fiber wheels off. Don't do it for that. Because honestly, buy the regular 350, get a set of custom aftermarket wheels from Signature, Forged, or Forge Line, or HRE, whatever you want to do. Many upgrades for the aftermarket wings. And then, like I said, the little, the Resonator Deletes, you could do those for a few $100. You could do the red calipers, you could do whatever you want. And, you know, it's a little bit more personalized, and I personally like that. You know, I'm kind of glad that my red 350, I was able to kind of go down that road and personalize it a little bit more. But this one here is so damn good. You have to really go to one extreme or the other. Do you take the engine and blow it all apart and do some crazy twin turbo setup, or do you send the car to SpeedCore and have them completely rebody it in carbon fiber? I don't really know, But these are just ideas right now. I'm just playing around with them, not really sure what I want to do. I also have the idea of selling 2 cars and possibly getting a Ferrari 488 or a 458 or something, I don't know, something along those lines. I've even been looking at like, you know, Porsche GT3s, but like a 2011. I don't really know. It's just so hard to find a good, you know, pre-owned car today from somebody that's like really, really meticulous like I am. So it's kind of like a gamble. And I do like the experience of owning a new car or special ordering a car. And it would be kind of cool if I could take you guys along for a journey as well, if I was to special order, you know, something really cool like a new Ferrari. This car has the newer version of the 5.2 Voodoo motor. And what they did, they used the block from the GT500. So it's a heavier internal motor. The one thing I'm gonna tell you guys straight up is that my 17 revved out a lot better than this one. This doesn't rev out as sharp and quick. And I also noticed that the pitch of the sound is a little bit different between the earlier 350Rs that I've driven and worked on and my car. Don't really know why. It's not a huge deal, but I do notice that the way the engine revs out to RPM is a little bit slower than the earlier versions. Now, they said the earlier versions had oiling issues and people were blowing motors, and I don't know, man, because my car never burned any oil. I never had any issues with that. And I think the people that contacted me, those were definitely isolated instances. There could have just been a bad batch of motors. It could have just been, you know, people that neglected the oil changes or beat on the cars too hard and they didn't really get a good break-in of the pistons and the seals. But that's pretty much all it's at. And other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. The braking hardware is phenomenal. The magnetic ride control, the updates that they did, it definitely drives and handles and rides a lot better. Also, the tram lining on my car, it's not that bad at all. You put it in normal mode, the car feels like a Cadillac. It's unbelievable. And that's one thing I love about this car, and I love the Bang & Olufsen audio system. It actually cranks, and I'm always posting stuff on Instagram of me driving the car, listening to tunes, because music is a huge part of, you know, my driving enjoyment. So that's it, guys. That's my conclusion of owning the Shelby GT350R for 1 year. I'm just gonna tell you, the car is badass. It's incredible. There's no other car in the world that you're gonna buy that's gonna sound like this, that's gonna drive like this, and it's gonna give you the same visceral experience for well under $100,000. This car is incredible. And like I said, the one thing I'll reiterate, if you guys really wanna have the ultimate experience, you know, with the R, I suggest you really drive it and get to use the car with the carbon fiber wheels. I just think that's really what makes the 350R so much special, of already a special car that existed from Ford. So got the car running. I'm tired of talking about this car. It's freaking incredible. I love it. It's comfortable. It does everything well, looks good. But like I said, what am I gonna do with it? I don't know. If I keep it, it's gonna be pretty cool. If I transform it into a full carbon fiber, you know, 350R, it'll be a true one-of-a-kind car. Definitely more fitting for my individual lifestyle. I'll also do a custom interior. But other than that, I mean, the car out of the box is so damn good that there's not much you could want to really do to these things as far as, you know, modifieds and all of that, unless you want to go to one complete extreme. But like I said, thanks for watching the content and thanks for staying tuned to the channel. And also visit the AutoFanatic website today. Everything is on sale for 20% off, till most likely to the end of the year, because it's the 2-year anniversary of the AutoFanatic website. Also, GT350 splash guards, they're fully in stock, immediate shipment as well, and also those are on sale. So if any of you guys are on the fence about buying them, they're on sale now, 20% off. Just go to the website and the code is 2 years. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and also post in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think we should do with this car next, and I'll see you guys soon.